Good morning, this is the ExactTrades.com Movers Report for August 29th, 2011. First, taking a look here at Yoku, Y-O-K-U. You can see we're gapping up this morning right here. Probably going to open over 25. I would say 25 to possibly 26 area, so watch for an open there. Now the key that I'm going to be watching for is a move over this 24.85. So if we open below 24.85, wait for it to break this 25 mark, and then I would take this long. Probably going to have some resistance here around 25.60. Then at 26, then at 27, and then you see this high back here when it had the strong run up into 30. These two areas here. So I would trail a stop on a small piece over 27 if we get to that point. But I'm going to have that 1% and 2% profit targets for my entry, just like we've been doing on most of our trades. So I think this is going to be pretty strong today, especially if we get some buying in the market. And next we have TTM. You can see we're gapping up here pre-market, trying to get up over this 16 mark. Could open, anywhere from this 1577 up to 1615 area. Now the key to look for on this trade as well is this resistance level here around 1615 to 1620, so right in there. Going to have some resistance here around 1645. So what we want to do is make sure we break through this resistance level. I would take this long about 1617, 1618. Look for that 1% profit target. It's going to be about 1634. So right about there I would take some off, and then I would see what it does here at 1644 up into 1650. Probably take a little bit more off at 1650 and see if it can penetrate this gap. I would leave a small piece into this gap, and you're going to have resistance up into 17. So it could get on a trendy run and move up close to this 17. It's going to be a nice gain on that last piece of your trade. Next we have ATHN gapping up here into that $60 mark. You see here right at 60. Could open anywhere from just over 60 down to even 58.50 area. So just watch for that. I don't mind it opening back this area. I'm going to look for some strong buying off the open to take this long. This is a breakaway gap. You see the resistance level here around 58. Hit it a couple times here. So we're going to look to try to take the momentum on the long side over that resistance with the gap. 1% first profit target, 2% second profit target, so around 60 cents and $1.20 from your entry. You could start with a small position and look for a pullback, add to it on a higher low, and then see if it can push through to a new high of the day. Typical resistance is going to be around 62, maybe 64. Start to get up in this range, you're at the upper end of the range, so I think that you're going to really see some resistance up in these areas. So just watch for that. Probably not going to be looking to take this short even if it does have a strong run up into 64. Next we have GMCR, also gapping up this morning. Going to look to open over this $100 mark. Now the first thing I notice is that the $100 mark is a very strong psychological level of support and resistance. And usually when you get a crossover of that $100, it's pretty bullish. So I'm going to look on this breakaway gap for the long side. Now wait for maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 minutes off the open. See if you get some strong buying. Take it long. You could start again with this trade with a small piece and then add on a pullback of a higher low or a hold of the low of the day, and then see if we can get a push through to a new high. Profit targets are going to be pretty simple on this. You're going to look for about $1 and $2 from your average entry, and then I leave a small piece to trail with about a 1% trailing stop. Now we're looking at Lulu, L-U-L-U, Lululemon. You can see we're gapping up here. Probably going to open between this 55 and 53.50 area, most likely. Could have some of a pullback. We're going to look to take this long off the open with strong buying and make sure we have good volume. If we have very weak volume, a lot of times those will turn back over on us and come back into the support levels. So make sure we have above average volume in that first few minutes of the market open. If we get that move up, take it long. Profit target's going to be about 54 cents, $1.08 is at 2% from your average entry, and then I would trail a stop up about a 1% trailing stop after your second exit on a small piece that you have left open. And lastly, we have VQ, pretty big gap, going to open up here probably over this 1150 mark, could even open up down into this 11. Now the closer we open to 11, the less interested I am. It's taking a lot of the money out of the trade. There's still a decent money where if it opens below 11, I'll probably trade a small position because you're going to have support down here at about 1066 to 1050. So that's still a pretty good profit off of $11 stock, but I hope it opens up over this 1150 to even 12 mark. Look for it to break to a new low of the day, take it short, and fade it into this gap. So, once you get in, I would take profit at about 1%. You could be a little more patient, maybe take a quarter off at 1%, move down your stop to break even on your other 3/4 of your position, and then just try to piece out of this about every 1 to 1.5%. See if you can come into this 1050 mark. If we break 1050, you're going to have support at 950. So I think there's going to be some profit taking on this move up from these lows around 9. Now, also watch for this. It could bounce off the open, come up into 12 and turn over. Wait for that new low of the day. So wait for it to break down below the new low of the day or the open. Take it short there, and then trade like we normally do with those same profit targets and trailing stops. So we don't have as many trades today on the movers. We're just going to take what the market's going to give us. We're not getting a lot of gaps, and a lot of things are very bullish gaps, so we're kind of forced to look more on the long side today with only the one short idea. That's just a good lesson to learn. Don't force something that's not there. Stay focused today. Good luck to everyone, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.